We've been getting a lot of requests for this video because people do get confused about what is the difference between microlearning, traditional learning, and e-learning. And we're here to tell you that it's actually really, really simple. eLearning Simplified, the name of the channel. Welcome to here. I'm Jonny Havey, one of the co-founders of eLearning Partners. And this channel, eLearning Simplified, is exactly what the name says. It's all about simplifying e-learning, online courses, and virtual trainings for you so you can focus on developing amazing, pristine e-learnings for your learners as quickly as possible and with as much value as possible. So today, what you're gonna do is you're gonna give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and you're gonna wait till the end because we have a free giveaway for you because you're gonna watch this whole video. Now, what is microlearning? What is traditional learning? What is e-learning? Now, if you want a video that digs into the details of microlearning, we have a lot more videos on our channel about microlearning. Specifically, we have a video called What is Microlearning? We also have a video about how to create microlearning. We have a whole actual playlist about microlearning. But today, we are going to compare these three things. First of all, traditional learning would be any type of learning that is presented live to a learner. So that is our definition for simplicity purposes today of traditional learning. So it is when a subject matter expert, a professor, a teacher, a trainer, whomever presents learning to a learner in a live setting. We'll go SMEs, subject matter experts, presenting learning or training is probably the better English, in a live setting. I say live because, well, technically, nowadays, a lot of people find themselves presenting live trainings via video conferencing online. That counts, at least when we're looking at what the definition of traditional learning is. There's a lot more stipulations than that, but that is the basic definition. It's a live presented learning or training. So that could also be your professor in a classroom, you do a 2-hour lecture to your students. That's traditional learning. E-learning is the presenting of learning in an online setting that isn't live. Now, you could technically say that when you're presenting a training that's live, but it's online, you could call that e-learning. But when we're really looking at it, e-learning is the electronic distribution of learning. And most of us out there want to create e-learning because it takes the live piece out of it so it can save your time so you don't have to be live with your learners. So this is kind of the ideal definition of e-learning, is when an SME captures their learning in an online sense, in an online way, and presents it to the learners, and they're not live. SME is not live. Hopefully they're alive, but they're not live with the learners presenting the learning. SME is not live presenting the learning that is delivered electronically to their learners. Key pieces here: not live, okay, and electronically. Let's get rid of that marker. It's making too much noise. Okay, so micro-learning. Micro-learning is any type of learning. Any type. It could be traditional, okay? It could be e-learning. It could be blended learning, which is these combined. This would be blended learning. But what microlearning is taking any topic and breaking it down to the learning bites that make up a topic. Learning bites. We have a whole video all about that. But that's what microlearning is. It is the delivery of content, of learning, to a learner in the smallest bites possible, specifically for a learner's attention span. So learning to a learner smallest bites possible to teach a topic. We have a whole video about how to break down a topic into subtopics and develop microlearning. But really, when you're looking at topics, so the key points here are smallest bites, learning bites, and topic. And we're going to add subtopic here, because that's really what you're doing. Is a microlearning isn't going to be on a full topic. It's going to be on the subtopics that make up a full topic. So when we look at these three definitions here, it becomes very obvious that it really isn't microlearning versus traditional versus e-learning. It's that microlearning supports traditional and e-learning. And what it does is microlearning really has the best interest of the learner. So best interest of the learner. Because learners want to learn in these smallest learning bites. Because traditionally, we've talked about this in another video, where you can break down your 2-hour live training into 5 to 10 minute segments, which is where we are looking the majority of the time, is you're looking at 5 to 10 minute learnings. But you can break it down into 5 to 10 minute segments where you talk about a topic or a subtopic. Then you ask your learners for questions. You can ask them to answer questions, etc. But that would be using microlearning as traditional learning. Then you have e-learning. And with e-learning, it's really cool because you can build out an e-learning program using smallest learning bites. And what this allows you to do is give your learners the opportunity to learn at their own pace, because it's not live, it's recorded, they can access it at any time. And retrospectively, they can go and they can search, because it's electronic, they can search for their answers because it's micro. So microlearning can be both added to traditional learning, e-learning, and of course, blended learning. So we promised you a free giveaway for watching this whole video. Well, if you want to really dig into how to guarantee the success of any online course, e-learning program, or virtual training that you are creating, click on the link to the MasterClass below this video in the description. And it's going to go through all the secrets of how to be successful with developing and launching an e-learning program. And the cool thing that we go into there is how to make sure that you are building your program for your learners on the topics that are most important to them, right? The subtopics, the topics. And really what this helps you do is when you're creating your program, really finding out what the most important pieces are. Then you can get rid of all the excess, because your goal is to deliver value to your learners. The most value to your learners is going to be dictated on what information do you have that solves their challenges. So check out that masterclass below. Remember, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Every week we launch new content about how to simplify your e-learning. So we'll see you next week. The biggest mistake that people make when developing an e-learning program is they spend too much time on the technology. That's why we are here to provide some clarity to you if you are building out an e-learning program for your employees and you are looking for a third-party learning management system